Soulslikes are boring. And I say that as someone who loves Soulslikes. They're challenging, rewarding, and they all feel kinda the same. Action games that follow the same general formula but with renamed bonfires, Estus flasks, and blood echoes. And they all tend toward the dark and hopeless. Dying kingdoms or plague-ridden back streets. It's a vibe, but it's also rubbed off on most other action games at this point, making the landscape of modern action gaming feel kind of blah. But this is how En Garde made Soulslikes fun again. Before I get into the video essay, just wanted to jump in here and remind you to like the video and subscribe to the channel for more video essays like this one. And if you'd like to financially support me in producing more of this content in the future, since it's really not cheap, I have a Ko-fi page linked in my description as well as the pinned comment, but more about that at the end of the video. Dark Souls is one of the most influential action games ever published. No contest. Hidetaka Miyazaki's brainchild popularized a very specific type of gameplay and even aesthetic that, love it or hate it, has become a standard. Since 2011, we've seen more developers embrace difficulty, a slower pace of combat, dodge rolls, huge bosses, shortcuts, respawning enemies. The list goes on. The Soulslike is now a fully fledged genre, seeing 2,497 entries on Steam as I'm writing this. That's a lot. But one side effect of this explosive popularity of the Soulslike is an eerie sameness. Even among action games that don't even claim Dark Souls as an influence. You play enough of these games and you see the poison swamp, the lifeless protagonist, and worst of all, the overbearing fog of self-seriousness. At first glance, Dark Souls can certainly give off that air as well, but at the heart of it, the FromSoft catalog knows how to have fun. Enemies hiding around corners, and cartoony traps litter these worlds, making it feel like they were made by a goblin prankster, giggling to himself anytime you perish. But a lot of Soulslikes leave that mischief behind, leading to swaths of action games feeling uninspired, oppressively gritty, and just dull. Like they're so married to the formula and expectations of the genre that they forget to be their own thing. Have you ever played a Soulslike, taken on a room of sword-swinging goons and thought, why can't I throw that pot over there? I just kind of want to kick this table at that crowd of enemies. A useless crate or barrel. It either just breaks when you roll through or doesn't even budge. When I first saw a trailer for En Garde, it felt like a breath of fresh air. As a fan of Zorro, Robin Hood, and countless pieces of pirate media, I was immediately hooked by the swashbuckling hijinks on display. It looked smooth and playful, like it had a sense of humor and a sharp wit. And you can kick barrels at your enemies? Take my money. I love this pattern that we've been seeing recently of action games that don't take themselves too seriously. It's a nice contrast from the trend that FromSoftware started so long ago. Light-hearted takes on otherwise dark genres. And it seemed like Fireplace Games were aiming to follow suit. So, I added the game to my wish list and waited patiently for a while. We're in. Oh my god. I am so excited. Like, this game already looks so beautiful. The colors, the like sound design. I love, oh my god. Whoa. This is so pretty. Like, just moving the camera around and just like looking at this world. I love it. It's like a painting. Oh my god, the little fish. I love that. That's so cool. And then when things are like out of focus in the distance, they're like brush strokes or paint smudges. That's so cool. Parkour? Oh, parkour, let's go. Oh, that was cool. All right, let's go, let's go. Oh, okay. Listen. Uh-oh. Oh, okay. We got parrying. It's a Souls-like. Wait. I love that it's not a roll necessarily. And it looks different depending on which direction you like dodge in. Oh, that's so cool. Okay, let's parry. Ooh. I like that. I like that a lot. Usually I'm not very good at parrying, but like, I'll take it. Oh shit. Okay, okay. I'm learning. Ooh. Oh, hell yeah. Oh, that feels amazing. Chicken? Oh, stop. You can pet the chicken. I love it. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god. Get out of here. Get out of here. Oh. I can use the boxes in combat. Oh, so cool. I love it. I love it. Chaos. I am here for it. Let's go. So good. So yeah, this is like really great. Like the amount of polish, just like the combat feels amazing. The music, the sound design, the art, like, it just has so much character. I love it. Wow. I am here for this. This is great. This is like everything I want in a video game. As I made my way through the tutorial episode, I could already tell this game was going to be a blast. Colorful environments, lovely sound design, and look at this dodge roll. Just so good. Everything had such character. Even the framing device of the tutorial made me smile. Our main character is being tested by El Vigilante, a fellow swashbuckler who's definitely not her brother. Definitely not. I mean, comedy in video games is kind of tough to get right already. I feel like a lot of the time a joke might not land, or comedic timing might be dependent on a player interacting with the world just right. But the Three Stooges slapstick humor kept hitting the spot. I seriously couldn't stop smiling. As you can probably tell from the footage, En Garde is a post-Dark Souls action game through and through. Maybe not fully a Souls-like, but it definitely has dodge rolls and, of course, parrying. The popularity of which I'm actually making a video about right now. It feels like at this point, if you can swing a weapon, you can parry your enemies to create an opening in their attack patterns. And sometimes you don't even need a weapon to do it. But unlike Spider-Man 2, Tears of the Kingdom, or Pizza Tower, En Garde feels like a game where parrying is a natural extension of Adalia and the world she inhabits. And can I be honest? It's so nice to play a game where executing a parry feels doable, but remains rewarding. Like, I'm just not good at nailing the timing of a parry, which is why I've never managed to make it past 1 hour in Sekiro. I don't know why, but it's a skill issue and a bit of a roadblock for me. And in a lot of ways, En Garde's combat kind of feels like a more accessible version of Sekiro. But note, I said accessible and not easy. Because, for example, your health bar simply tracks the number of hits to your demise. Each enemy is equally able to defeat you. And because later sections of the game flood arenas with aggressive guards that work together to thwart your schemes, things can ramp up fairly quick. It becomes more of a challenge to see how you can use your environment to your advantage than a one-on-one standoff that a lot of post-Dark Souls action games aim for. There's no corpse running or many of the Souls-like tropes that you might expect, but the focus on deflection, the attacks you have to dodge, and the enemy posture gauges you need to deplete, it's all there, but it's way more focused on play. Like these arenas are playgrounds rather than arenas, you know? I love a challenge, but sometimes I do just want to have a fun time, and En Garde knows exactly how to have a good time. It's rare, especially when the online gaming discourse conflates enjoyment with difficulty, as if completing a game needs to be some badge of honor. You know the types, the skill issues and the gatekeeping, all that. And while at first sight the combat loop might seem like a pretty repetitive pattern of combo, block, or parry, repeat, soon, each fight becomes a hectic scramble to use the environment to your advantage. Jump over that table to buy yourself some space, maybe even kick it at a huddle of goons, bags of distracting dust, chandeliers, cannons, and, of course, the trusty barrel. Unless it's bolted down, there's a pretty good chance you can use it to gain the upper hand in combat. There's nothing quite like throwing a roast chicken on an enemy's head before sending them falling back into a precarious weapon rack. And pulling off all of these tricks is very doable. The best part is it seems like most of the rogues gallery is designed to encourage this playstyle too. These grenadiers don't stop running amok until you throw something at them. They'll even dodge all your attacks until you take aim with the set dressing. And these tougher guards will work together to protect each other, unless you break them up somehow. The amount of chaos you're set up for in all of these arenas is such a joy. It's a complete mess in the most choreographed way. Finally, a game that understands the level of chaos gremlinry I'm trying to achieve. And this chaotic fighting style goes so perfectly with our main character, sower of discord and upheaver of norms, Adalia de Volador. She was the aspect of the game that surprised me the most, actually. Adalia and her world were oozing character from every pore and crevice. Normally, when I boot up a game focused on combat and clearing rooms of goons, it's gritty and serious as far as the eye can see. Rarely does the main character speak, and when they do, it's a canned one-liner. Listen, I love a pun, but that isn't a substitute for personality, unfortunately. In En Garde, over the course of its 4 chapters, Adalia gets to be a lot of things. A charismatic rogue for the people, a puppy-eyed admirer, a caring sister, and a charming female protagonist. And like her male swashbuckling counterparts, she does it all with a wink at the camera. Despite the episodic structure, which normally isn't my favorite, I felt like I got a pretty satisfying portrait of Adalia and her world. A corrupt Spanish city whose citizens are barely hanging on while its de facto leader lives in lavish extravagance. As too real as that sounds, it's a good setting for a lot of this humor that's definitely poking fun at certain fragile egos whenever possible. Almost cathartically unserious. And because of the tongue-in-cheek tone of these adventures, it feels like a Saturday morning cartoon in the best way. A cast of charming personalities popping in and out. Adalia's brother, who definitely isn't El Vigilante, remember? Zaida, a flirtatious rival swashbuckler who loves a bit of cat and mouse. And, of course, the Count Duke, who feels like he's definitely twirling his mustache just off screen. It's a short collection of tales, sure, but that charm does so much to not only distinguish it from its contemporaries, but also in making it a joy to replay. As much as I love the dark fantasy dungeons and post-apocalyptic overgrown cities that litter the action landscape, it's refreshing to swing a sword through a banquet hall, to leap around the docks of a hidden pirate island. You just don't get to inhabit a world like this very often. So even though I was by no means perfect in my first playthrough, I missed a lot of parries, I died a few times, and wasted some special moves. I went back to play these levels again and again just for fun, enjoying the details of this world, looking for secrets, and completing these clever little challenges given at the outset of each level. While these aren't usually the types of incentives that get me to pick up a game again after rolling credits, they were a really great excuse for me to spend more time as a Technicolor Zorro. And before I knew it, En Garde entered a fairly exclusive club for games for which filmotter inexplicably has every achievement, alongside Sable, Alba, a wildlife adventure, Soma, Astro's Playroom, and Insomniac Spider-Man games. It really is a rarity that I get that invested in a video game these days. Usually I'll see credits and flip the channel to the next game. But with En Garde, I'm sitting here in front of my TV with my cereal, hoping for another episode of my favorite cartoon. I really hope we get more of this world in the future. It may have a few unpolished edges here and there, but this kind of capital F fun just doesn't exist much anymore in the action space. Especially when online gaming enjoyers seem to want everything to just be a pissing contest, you know? Just enjoy stuff, have fun, smile, laugh. Games don't always have to be so serious to be seriously fun. And hey, in a world filled to the brim with self-serious axe throwing and fake deep boob jiggle physics games, we need more games like En Garde. You know, games like this remind me that things don't have to be perfect to be fun. In fact, some of the most perfect movies, games, and media out there deserve their level of acclaim but are nowhere near as fun as their 7 out of 10 counterparts. Oppenheimer may be an award-winning tour de force, but I'll go rewatch Mamma Mia any given day. God of War Ragnarok is that near-perfect blockbuster AAA experience that exudes prestige, yet can't compare to En Garde when it comes to moments of pure joy. It's that human touch and connection that you only really get from smaller teams, independent artists, and those fingerprints may look like the occasional smudge. I think as someone who now spends a lot of time playing video games for work, which, yeah, that's kind of wild, I'm finding myself prioritizing a good time over polish. Anyone can tell you a game with millions of dollars poured into it by a mega corporation is good, but it's more likely to lack that human element of fun, of putting a smile on your face. En Garde isn't perfect, but it's the most fun I've had in a long time. So even though there's more pressure on me now than ever to make the perfect content that pops off, a little mistake creeping its way in isn't really the end of the world, is it? I'd rather have a few misshapen edges than perfectly curated video essays by AI generation content farms. None of us are perfect. We're human, and that's what makes this content worthwhile in the first place. Embrace the smudge. Hey there, I I hope you enjoyed the video essay. If you did, make sure to give the video a like down below and subscribe to the channel for more video essays like this one. It really helps the video and the channel get seen by more people, which kind of means more now than ever, since, like I said in my last video essay, this is currently my full-time job. And speaking of helping out, thank you so much to Voxamandius, Bean Fiello, Veltwalker, Cap Danvers, Robertson, Comrade Quest, Max Wattage, Lionbite, Sarah, John Lax, One's the Loneliest, Nightmare God, Paula, Dear Papaya, The Nap Taker, and Crazy Tyndall. Those are my monthly supporters over on my Ko-fi page, which, if you don't know what that is, it's kind of like Patreon, but a whole lot cooler. And if you want to help out this content financially, you can do that over there, either by becoming a monthly supporter for as little as $4 a month, or you can drop a one-time donation as well if that's more your speed. But if you do decide to become a monthly supporter over there, you'll get behind the scenes content, sneak peeks at future video essays, shoutouts at the end here, as well as uncensored and ad-free versions of these videos. And another way that you can help support is by checking out the description box. There's links in there to all the games that I mentioned in any of these video essays. And because I'm a Humble Bundle partner, that means part of the proceeds of each purchase go to me, and another part also goes to trans charities at no extra cost to you, which is pretty cool. But yeah, I think that's it. Oh yeah. Share the video.